You think your plumbing is just fine, but the day a home inspector walks through your door, you might be in for a very expensive surprise. The good news is that every single one of these failures is fixable once you know what to look for. After 3 decades of working on pipes, I have seen the same mistakes tank home sales over and over again. Today, I am walking you through 10 plumbing mistakes that will make you fail a home inspection. And stick around, because number 8 is one that almost nobody thinks about, and the bonus tip at the end could save your entire deal. The first mistake that catches homeowners off guard is missing or improper P-traps. Every single drain in your home needs a properly installed P-trap, and I mean everyone. That includes your kitchen sink, bathroom sinks, laundry standpipes, and even that utility sink in the garage. The P-trap is that curved section of pipe underneath the drain that holds a small amount of water at all times. That little pool of standing water is what keeps sewer gas from creeping back up through the drain and into your living space. Now here is where it gets tricky. A lot of older homes still have S-traps installed. An S-trap looks like the pipe goes down, curves up, and then goes straight back down again into the floor. The problem is that S-traps can siphon themselves dry. Once that water seal is gone, you have got an open pathway for methane and hydrogen sulfide gas to enter your home. Most modern plumbing codes have banned S-traps entirely. If an inspector sees one under your bathroom vanity, that is an automatic flag. The fix is not terribly complicated. You need to convert to a proper P-trap configuration with the horizontal arm running to a wall connection. For a 1.5-inch bathroom sink drain, you are looking at about $15 to $20 in parts from any hardware store. The labor is straightforward if you have basic wrench skills, but make sure that horizontal arm maintains a downward slope of 1/4 inch per foot toward the wall. The second mistake that shows up on nearly every failed inspection is having no expansion tank on the water heater. If your home has a closed plumbing system, which means there is a check valve or pressure reducing valve on your main water line, then thermal expansion has nowhere to go when your water heater fires up. As the water heats, it expands. Without an expansion tank, that pressure builds and builds inside your system. It stresses joints, shortens the life of your water heater, and can even cause your temperature and pressure relief valve to discharge repeatedly. Modern code in virtually every jurisdiction now requires a thermal expansion tank when a closed system is present. The tank itself is a small unit, usually about 2 gallons, that mounts on the cold water supply line above your water heater. Inside there is a rubber bladder with a precharged air cushion that absorbs the expanded water volume. You can pick one up for around $40 to $60. Installation means cutting into the cold water line, adding a T-fitting, and threading the tank onto it. Before you install it, check the air precharge with a tire gauge and adjust it to match your home's incoming water pressure. Most homes run between 40 and 60 pounds per square inch. If you skip this step, the tank will not function correctly. The third mistake is an improper water heater discharge pipe on the temperature and pressure relief valve, commonly called the TPR valve. This is a big one because it is a genuine safety issue. The TPR valve is designed to open if your water heater's temperature or pressure exceeds safe limits. When it opens, It releases scalding hot water and steam. That discharge has to go somewhere safe. Code requires a dedicated discharge pipe that runs from the valve downward to a point 6 inches above the floor or to an exterior location. The pipe must be the same diameter as the valve outlet, which is typically 3/4 inch. It cannot be reduced in size, it cannot be threaded on the end, and it cannot have any valve or cap on the termination point. I have seen homeowners run the discharge pipe upward, connect it to a bucket, or even cap it off entirely because it dripped once. Every single one of those scenarios is a failed inspection and a potential safety hazard. The pipe material matters too. You want copper or CPVC, rated for hot water. Regular PVC is not acceptable because it cannot handle the extreme temperatures that come out during a relief event. This is one of those fixes that costs maybe $20 in materials, but can be the difference between passing and failing your inspection. By the way, if you're finding this advice helpful, you should know it's just a small sample of what I've put into my new guide, The Ultimate Plumbing Playbook. It's packed with step-by-step instructions for hundreds of repairs that can save you thousands. To grab your copy, you can scan the QR code on the screen right now, or just use the first link in the description below. All right, let's continue. The fourth mistake on our list is cross-connected or missing backflow prevention. This one is about protecting your drinking water from contamination, and inspectors take it very seriously. A cross-connection is any point where your potable water supply could come into contact with a non-potable source. The most common example is a garden hose. If you have a hose connected to your outdoor spigot and the other end is sitting in a kiddie pool, a bucket of fertilizer, or even lying on the ground, a sudden drop in water pressure could siphon that contaminated water right back into your household supply. The fix is simple and cheap. Every hose bib on the exterior of your home needs a vacuum breaker, also called a backflow preventer. These screw right onto the threads of the spigot and cost about $5 to $8 each. Some newer frost-free hose bibs have them built in, but do not assume yours does without checking. Inside the home, dishwashers need an air gap or a high loop in the drain hose to prevent backflow from the sink drain. Inspectors will check for all of these. A $5 vacuum breaker can prevent a contamination event that could make your whole family sick. The fifth mistake that trips up homeowners is using wrong pipe materials or mixing metals without proper fittings. This is especially common in homes that have been partially repiped over the years. The classic scenario is someone connecting new copper pipe directly to old galvanized steel pipe without a dielectric union or a dielectric nipple in between. When two dissimilar metals touch each other in the presence of water, you get galvanic corrosion. It is an electrochemical reaction that eats away at the joint from the inside out. Over time, you get restricted flow, pinhole leaks, and eventually a full failure. A dielectric union costs about $8 to $12 and creates a barrier between the two metals using a plastic sleeve and rubber washer. Every transition point between copper and galvanized steel needs one. Inspectors also look for improper use of materials in general. For example, using non-rated PVC for hot water lines, or using interior-grade pipe for underground applications. If you have done any repiping work yourself, double-check that every material is rated for its specific application and that every transition between different metals has the correct fitting. The sixth mistake that will get you flagged is improper drain slope. Every horizontal drain pipe in your home needs to maintain a consistent downward slope toward the main sewer line. The standard requirement is 1/4 inch of fall per foot of horizontal run. Too little slope and water moves too slowly, allowing solids to settle and create chronic clogs. Too much slope and the water outruns the solids, leaving them stranded in the pipe. Both situations lead to backups, and both will fail an inspection. This mistake is most common in DIY basement bathroom, additions, garage utility sinks, and laundry room drain lines. Inspectors will actually place a level on accessible drain pipes to verify slope. If you are installing a new drain run, use a 4-foot level and measure carefully. For a 10-foot horizontal run, you need 2.5 inches of total drop. Mark your starting and ending heights before you glue anything. Once that PVC cement sets, there is no adjusting it. The seventh mistake is exposed or unsecured flexible supply lines. Flexible braided supply lines are fantastic for connecting fixtures in accessible locations. They make installation easy and they accommodate minor misalignments between your shutoff valve and the fixture inlet. But here is where people go wrong. Flex lines are not rated for concealed installation. You cannot run them inside walls, through floors, or in any location where they are not visible and accessible. The braided stainless steel outer jacket can corrode over time, and if a flex line bursts inside a wall cavity, you may not discover the leak until you have thousands of dollars in water damage. Inspectors look for this specifically. If you have flex lines running through holes in cabinets into wall cavities, that is a flag. The proper approach is to run rigid copper, or PEX, supply lines to a shutoff valve at an accessible point near the fixture, and then use the flex connector only for the final visible connection. While you're at it, make sure all supply lines throughout the home are properly secured with pipe straps or hangers at the intervals required by code, which is typically every 6 to 8 feet for copper and every 32 inches for CPVC. The eighth mistake that almost nobody thinks about is missing shutoff valves on fixtures. In many older homes built before the 1980s, individual fixture shutoff valves were not standard practice. If your bathroom sink, toilet, or kitchen faucet does not have its own dedicated shutoff valve, an inspector is going to call that out. Modern plumbing code requires individual stops on every fixture so that you can isolate one fixture for repair without shutting off water to the entire house. Beyond the code requirement, this is just good sense. Imagine a toilet supply line bursts at 2 in the morning, and your only option is to run to the basement or crawl space to find the main shutoff. Every second of delay means more water on your floor. Adding shutoff valves is a very manageable project. Quarter-turn ball valves are the best option because they are reliable and easy to operate, even for someone with limited hand strength. For a compression-style quarter-turn valve on a half-inch copper stub-out, you are looking at about $12 to $18 per valve. You do not even need to solder. The compression fitting seals with a brass ferrule and a nut that tightens by hand, and then a quarter turn with a wrench. The ninth mistake is illegal or improper venting. Your drain system cannot function without proper venting, and this is one of the most complex areas of plumbing code. Every fixture needs a vent that allows air into the drain system so water flows smoothly and the traps maintain their water seal. Without adequate venting, you get slow drains, gurgling sounds, and traps that get siphoned dry, which brings us right back to sewer gas in the house. The most common venting violation I see is a vent stack that terminates inside the attic instead of extending through the roof. Vent pipes must extend through the roof and terminate at least 6 inches above the roof line, or 12 inches if you are in an area that gets significant snow. Inside the home, some jurisdictions allow air admittance valves, sometimes called Studer vents, as an alternative to traditional venting in remodel situations. But they have specific placement rules. They must be installed at least 4 inches above the drain they serve. They need to remain accessible for replacement, and they are typically not allowed as a substitute for the main building vent. If you have added a bathroom, relocated a kitchen sink, or done any drain work without pulling a permit, there's a good chance your venting needs a professional review before inspection day. The 10th and final mistake is unsecured or missing drain cleanout access. Cleanouts are those capped fittings installed at key points in your drain system that allow a plumber or drain cleaning service to access the pipes for maintenance and clearing blockages. Code requires cleanouts at specific intervals and locations, including where the building drain exits the foundation, at every change of direction greater than 45 degrees, and at regular intervals along long horizontal runs, typically every 75 to 100 feet. The problem is that cleanouts get buried. Homeowners pour concrete patios over them, cover them with drywall during basement finishing projects, or landscape right on top of the exterior cleanout. If an inspector cannot locate accessible cleanouts, it is going on the report. Take a walk around your foundation and look for a 3 or 4 inch PVC or cast iron cap sticking up near ground level. Inside, check where your main drain line runs through the basement or crawl space. Every cleanout cap should be accessible and removable. If one is stuck, a little penetrating oil and a pipe wrench will usually free it up. If they have been buried or covered, you will need to expose them before inspection day. And now for the bonus tip that professional plumbers swear by. Before your home inspection, do a full water pressure test yourself. Pick up a simple hose bib pressure gauge from any hardware store for about $10 to $15. Thread it on to an outdoor spigot, make sure no other fixtures are running, and turn the water on. Your reading should be between 40 and 80 pounds per square inch. If it is above 80, you need a pressure-reducing valve because high pressure stresses every joint, valve, and appliance in your home and will absolutely get flagged. If it is below 40, you may have a partially closed main valve, a failing pressure regulator, or build-up restricting flow. Here is the part most people miss. Test the pressure at different times of day because municipal pressure fluctuates. A reading of 75 pounds per square inch in the morning might spike to 95 during low demand hours overnight. That single test can reveal hidden problems that would otherwise show up on inspection day and cost you the sale. Before you go, I want to make sure you know about my complete guide, the Ultimate Plumbing Playbook. It goes way deeper than we can in a single video, with 85 pages covering everything from clearing any clog to replacing your own water heater. If you want to stop wasting money on simple fixes, This book is for you. Just scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to get your copy. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.